focus. That is the number one thing that you need to do to improve at your art. There's no magic formula other than sitting down, working on one subject and one process. It could be with pencil, it could be digital, it could be ink, it could be oil, it could be watercolor. Just pick one process you want to focus on and pick one topic you want to focus on. What I'm doing currently is portraits, and I do want to do more landscapes as well. But right now, since I was already doing portraits before coming into this daily challenge, I decided to just stick with portraits for now. Maybe I'll switch about after a week or two of doing them, and we'll do landscapes. And I have studied portraits before, so it's just not like I'm brand new at them either. I think last year I basically was drawing them for like 2 months straight, and I didn't share them anywhere other than YouTube. I did one video on it. It didn't do great, so that kind of hurt a little bit. So if you want to watch that, I'll try and link that in the description. And then the one before that was like me, just my first attempt to kind of go into it, which was like a month of it. And I did get better then as well. But now I'm trying to actually turn them into some artwork. Something that I can be like, yep, that's mine. And most of them are studies, and I change them a little bit so they can make them more of my own. Usually if it's with the color, or it's just sometimes the color just makes it more fun. And I like making things fun. But the really important part of why I say to pick one topic and one process is because there's so many things to learn. There's a lot of like different rules and techniques for different ways of creating art, and it can be overwhelming. And you may want to learn all of that stuff, but just picking one and going deep on that, you will learn a lot, and it should translate over to other things. It won't be one-to-one. You'll still be like lower level and different categories, but the concepts that you learn, how you see darks and lights, how you see value, how you construct something, you will learn that if you just stick to one process. Because if you keep changing the process, if you're struggling, maybe it's okay if you actually hate it, but at a certain point, you're gonna need to just sit down and do one way of doing it. Otherwise, you're just gonna be having a lot of problems. I noticed this because I used Photoshop a lot and Paint on my computer mostly. And then I tried Procreate, and it was weird to me. And I have an iPad, but I don't use it that much, which is kind of expensive, honestly. I do like that Procreate was only a one-time payment. But anyways, when I was trying that out, I was really struggling to use it. Even though I'm a digital artist, it felt different to me. I'm sure I could get better at it if I just sat down and used it like every day. Maybe I'll try doing that, but not anytime soon. Maybe later, maybe next month I'll try using it more. And same thing with Clip Studio Paint, which is on my computer, which I am using now because I'm starting to like it. Because I'm figuring out how to make it work more like Photoshop for me. Things have translated a little better there, but there's still like the tools and stuff, and where to find things is a little confusing, and some of the brush settings are a little weird. But mostly for this, I'm just going to be sticking to Clip Studio Paint and doing a similar process where I'll do a line drawing, and then I will go in and block in the value or color or whatever the next step is, where I just paint it pretty much. Maybe I will do a couple other processes. I would just say like try and stick to the same thing most of the time. You still need to leave room for experimenting and trying new things. But if you can just get used to doing the same thing, it makes it way easier. and it's way less stressful once you do it enough. So an example of what I did that proved to me that this method of focusing works was several years ago. I did a month-long challenge again, me and my month-long challenges of doing a study every day. Anyways, I was doing a landscape study every day of the month of June. I don't remember what year it was, but I did that and I got a lot better. And then I think I did it a second year and I got better at landscapes. I wouldn't suggest you trying to do what I did then. If you're brand new, maybe pick something a little more simple. But if you're really in the landscapes, draw that. Maybe just pick one aspect about a landscape, like rocks or trees, which I also did a focus on that. And that was another thing that really upped my skills, is by just focusing on trees. And I'll show the painting as a result from drawing 100 trees here. I also did a video on it. There's a lot of videos that I'm mentioning here that you can go check out. And I also did one on rock. And I realized if you can go deep on one subject and learn it, it will just make it easier to learn the thing by doing a lot of it, which makes sense. But it's really easy for us to be, for someone who lives like an artist, is like, oh, I want to try that thing. I want to try doing this. You have to be able to say no to that for a period of time. And eventually you will get good. And I'm pretty sure doing these YouTube videos are going to explode my growth as a content creator, as someone who talks to people and on camera. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. And if you want to follow along and do your own sketch a day, you can join my school. I'll leave a link in the description. Till next time, Dartagon out. If you're watching this, thank you. And good job for paying attention to the end.